I used some of my Piker stuff, and then I switched over on my core winding project using Arduino. I did go further later on with different things. I use an Arduino, and here's the resistors on the back. And this here is just three motor Piker. It's a Piker 3X. And I was coming out with these. I was milling them. And like I said, the big mouse. Oh, I need a fourth motor. Nobody ever used a fourth motor on a machine. They tried. I won't get into it because there's other products. And those guys hit dealers. They had shills. And I didn't understand any of that. I was too naive. I was like, I'll get you a machine real cheap. You'll learn how to do the G code. And then if you decide to go from there, you can upgrade it a little bit. Increase the voltage to the motors, change the resistors. Now with a chopping type unit that I created like here, this doesn't use resistors. So the energy that's wasted in the resistors, say at 12 volts, you can get 12 inches out of the motors with a quarter 20 threaded rod. Now, if you change the threaded rod to less turns, you're going to need more torque from the motor. See, I found the synergy of the whole thing, and you have to weigh the synergy of cheapness and the amount of performance from the machine, and the fact that you're going to put a machine in the hands of someone that's able to build it real cheap. They're going to learn. They're either going to go further or they're going to quit at that point, or they're never really going to start. I was going for a different audience than the guy that wants to have the best motor drivers. And like I said, I used to call motor spinners, all with capital letters. And I used to insult them because they were insulting me. I insulted them back. And there's a lot of tricky things. Like I used to say, I'm trying to think of the drafting program. It was AutoCAD. No, it was a cheap AutoCAD. It might come to me, and it was free. TurboCAD. It was free, and you could also get it at Staples. So you draw in DXF. You draw your toolpath. Now you get it all done, the toolpath, right? Now you go in a new layer, and you trace the toolpath in the direction you want the machine in the order you want the machine to cut. Now, these other guys never mentioned the traveling salesman syndrome. I did. They would draw up a toolpath. The machine would go in one spot. It'll start cutting. Then all of a sudden it stops. It lifts up, goes all the way to the other side of the thing, starts going, and then it goes back. Then it goes back. It all has to do with how you drew the DXF, the lines, each line of code gets run. So you go to run the thing for the first time, and it's cutting over here, then it goes over there, then it goes over there, then it goes back, then it goes back. So what you have to do is, I just told, very simple, in TurboCAD, TurboCAD. You go in a new layer, and you trace your drawing, your toolpath, in the order you want it to cut. And that gets rid of the traveling salesman. Now, there was also a program that the guy that came up with CNC Pro, he released it to the public. And if you ran a G code through that program, it would take out the traveling salesman syndrome. Right? There was also another one, some foreigner guy, maybe Germany, and he had an actual the toolpath and everything was on the screen, and his was really cool, and it ran under Windows before the other guy showed up. And there was one guy, he took a free program, public domain program, and he changed it a little bit. When you'd run the program, it would lock the clock on your motherboard, So you wouldn't get, what the hell did that remove? Oh, it'd get rid of Windows jitters because anyway, you get smooth running G codes. The machine would run smooth on Windows. And that's because he found a way of putting a small program in his program, which had stolen properties from other people, and it would lock the microprocessor's clock or some interrupt thing, and make it you could run under Windows. There was all kinds of guys that were making money using other people's other people's ideas. I sat there and I told you I hung out with these guys that did Windows for stores, and I was helping them, but they didn't pay me any money. They pay me swag, all kinds of stuff that they lifted from jobs they did. They called it swag, and then one day they said to me, "You see this aluminum channel? This is where the window sits in the store, in the front of the store. When you look at it, you'll see this aluminum channel. You turn it over and look at it, and all of a sudden it looks like the way of a lathe or a CNC machine." And I'm looking at it, and I don't know. So I went home. It was around Thanksgiving, the day before. I went home. I'm laying in bed. All of a sudden, like the light bulb went on. Turn that over in your head. Turned it over. Went back there. Got a couple pieces. They cut it for me. I spent Thanksgiving dinner. The parade was on, and I was going up and down the cellar stairs. And I came up with a way. It was cheesy at first. How to make a linear rail out of that aluminum itself. And I was off. I was off. I knew I had something. I was popping them out, and there were people ordering my plans, and I kept improving it. And I would send them the improvements. Meanwhile, the big mouths never saw it. They just immediately make a, there's other people that make CNC machines out of store windows, out of windows. And it wasn't true. Mine was a storefront. It's not really a window. It's a storefront. It doesn't open and close. And I started using this aluminum. Then this guy jumped online, and he started selling the aluminum. No affiliation with me. I recommended him. It was going fine, and then he started taking people's money and not sending them the window channel. This always happens to me. I start to help someone else. They get involved with me, and then they take the money, and then I get the complaints. All right. There was so much going on. Every week, I was like, "I'm sorry I ever touched this. I'm sorry I ever touched this." And if you put yourself out there and you start a business, you'll find the same thing. You got people that are jealous of you. You got people that want to copy you. In my case, I had people writing me from other countries, asking for free stuff, asking them to show them how to do something. And like I said, I had a conference that was open to the world. It was costing me $1,000 a month. And these Russians and other people were in there, and they were drawing up my plans. They would get a hold of a set of plans and just start drawing it up and posting it for free. And I had to put the kibosh on that, you know. Yeah, I had one guy took a set of plans, and he just tilted everything a little bit, and then he put a free set of plans on a big website. If you join the website, you get a set of my plans. It was stolen. It was stolen. It was stolen information. But I didn't have the money for the lawyer and the whole nonsense, and you could still lose. If you win, you got to prove your damages and all that. But it was an experience. It wasn't a good experience. It was an experience. But there used to be so much information on the internet. It's not there anymore. You click on it. It wants you to join in order to look at it, or all kinds of movies are popping up and ads, and that's why I did a video on wanting a new hobby and the whole thing, and it blew up. I've had several videos blow up today, and I'm hoping that this one. Let me see if this is still working. Yeah, it's still working. Huh. Yeah. You get done with a video. You put your heart and your soul into a video, and then you look over. The counter's still going, but the video is not being recorded. So I got a few videos that they end, but the counter keeps going. I don't know where the rest of the video is hiding, but I just want to show you. Notice the direction the chips are going, and that has nothing to do with anything. It's just that you see a whole bunch of jumper wires. I don't know if you can see them. So I found out by putting them in a different direction, I limited all those little jumpers. So I constantly think, how can I make this better? How can I make this better? How can I make it cheaper? How can I make it better? Where my competition, or people that thought they were my competition, uh, just got shills, and they used dealers. And there were motor drivers that just started blowing up, batches of them, just blow it up, would blow up, and then the person said, "There's a batch of bad stepping motors out there. They have shorted turns," and I'm like, "Just keep quiet. Don't even go that route." You know. And then at one point, the guy shipped a whole bunch of drivers out that were missing parts inside the case, and no one ever said anything because they never hooked them up. And I started going, "Okay, that confirms what I said. These people, they buy stuff, they brag, and then it never sees electricity." So a bunch of these high-end control, they call them drivers, never saw electricity, and a lot of them never saw, if they spun the motor with the tape on the end, and then it never saw a machine. And then I went after him. I called it. I knew it. I knew people, when they get a certain age, they don't have any ambition left. They have bullshit. And, a couple of the guys, they emailed me on the backside, and they apologized for what was happening to me. See, I wasn't making any money. I was doing it. I quit working at 37. I told you that story. I had a lot of money in the bank, and I wanted to learn more and more. I put myself out there, and of course, it started with the magazine article and the quick and dirty data interface. One of the projects that was with that, you could actually control a stepping motor from the computer with a basic program. And I ended up just going on my own website, my own idea. And the reason I came up with a CNC machine, this kid I grew up with had a Bridgeport, and he would just hit it with a hammer. He was nuts, and he's dead. And he burnt it all up because he had a bad ground system in the house, in the building. I fixed everything, got it working, and he was making a product. I won't say what it was. He copied someone's idea. He had a patent guy come. He had all the neighbors. The neighbors to the day they died thought he had a patent. He had a guy come in, and the guy looked at the unit that he made, and then asked him some questions, and then he said, "Yeah, I copied this." And he went and got the thing he copied. Guy says, "This ain't gonna hold up in court." But he didn't tell anybody else. I found out about it, and my mother wasn't alive then. But a couple of people, "Oh, he's got a patent. He's a real swindler." No, he was a fathead. Okay. Oh man, what he's dead, but he owes me money. And then his mother threatened to sue me because I squealed and said that the property that they said that owned was actually owned by the uncle. There was a lot going on, man. It was nonstop every day, something bad happening. And after a while, you just get like, I'll just show everybody the letter from the idiot. He's got the letterhead, what departments he's in charge of, and he's all these degrees. And then he tells me, "You can't mill a circuit board." And I said, "You want to buy one? Do you want to buy a circuit board that's milled? Do you want me to sell you a machine from a company?" And someone told me about the bits. I got them from Think and Tinker. They're carbide bits. They look like go look at all this stuff. The Chinese cheap CNC machines, $100, they'll mill a circuit board. But they had linear rails made custom and all that. I was working with stuff that you could go to a local, they call them erectors. No, they're glazers. Glazers did storefronts, and you would take my booklet and show them the page, and have extra money to buy them coffee, and they'd cut the pieces for you. And some guys followed my instructions. Other people, "I went there. They didn't know what I was talking about." Go to another one. Read what I told you to do. Take the booklet with them. Get them involved. They'll give you the damn shit for free. I think that's it. All right, that's it.